Welcome to the extended summer tour of Chamber TV. On episode 34, we're talking with Karl Kidd, the 2013 Teacher of the Year. Karl joins us to discuss the importance of the business and education communities and how they can work together. We'll close our show with special guest Geordie Wilson of the Frederick News-Post. Geordie will discuss creating and maintaining a productive and beneficial relationship with your local media. Let's have a round of applause for your co-hosts Lauren Hagan and Jon-Mikel Bailey.
Brilliant.
Welcome to episode 34. I'm Lauren Hagan, here with my co-host, Jon-Mikel Bailey.
Hi. Welcome. If you're watching online, you've already found our YouTube channel. We are also posting photos, links, and other updates online at the Chamber's new blog. It's not really that new. That's newish. FrederickChamberblog.org.
We're here today at Unique Optique in downtown Frederick. Thank you, Dr. Maria, for making sure we're all in 20/20 vision. And John and I are modeling some pretty sweet specs.
I like them. I'm going to keep them.
Another cool part of the new-ish Chamber blog is the Positively Frederick category. Has anything great happened to you in Frederick County lately? If so, you can share your story on Positively Frederick, the community category, on frederickchamberblog.org.
This month's post was submitted by Larry Viemeyer from Manning Broadcasting Incorporated.
Larry attended Art-O-Matic in downtown Frederick this month, and while he was reluctant at first, he soon realized how awesome the event was.
It's very cool. Not only did Larry and his wife, who you may know, enjoy more than 40,000 square feet of art, but they really enjoyed a full evening out on the town afterwards.
And you can check out the full story online. Visit frederickchamberblog.org and click Positively Frederick.
Let's get into my favorite part.
Let's go.
Let's get some factoids. I'm actually quite fond of this factoid for some strange reason. Since we're here in downtown Frederick at Unique Optique, we decided that this month's factoid should center around something downtown.
Carroll Creek is well known in downtown as a landmark. It's a place where the community comes together to eat, to drink, to socialize, to create projects like the Community Bridge Mural and Color on the Creek.
But did you know that Carroll Creek wasn't always named Carroll Creek? I know, me neither.
In the history of Frederick County, the author Thomas J.C. Williams refers to Carroll Creek by its former name. Tell us, John, what is that name?
Carroll Creek was originally called, dramatic pause, drum roll please, Beaver Creek.
Not many people knew that. If that's something...
You should see the faces of everyone in the
They're
crowd
thrilled,
right now.
actually.
Stunned.
Thank you for that. Chris Haw over at the Visitor Center provided that fact for us. Stay tuned for our first special guest, Karl Kidd, the FCPS 2013 Teacher of the Year.
Thank you for tuning in to episode 34 of Chamber TV. Refreshments for our live studio audience were provided by the Canal Bar and Grill.
Welcome back. Our first guest was voted the 2013 Teacher of the Year for Frederick County Public Schools. Let's give me a hand for that.
Karl Kidd is a 5th grade teacher at Urbana Elementary School. He's been recognized for his excellence in teaching by both the faculty and also the students he teaches. Please join us in welcoming Karl. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, first, welcome, Karl. Congrats on your Teacher of the Year award. That's an incredible achievement. So, what have you been up to, besides going to Disney World, since you were named the 2013 Teacher of the Year?
So far, the state has sent us on some really cool trips. We went to St. Michael's.
Oh, nice.
We have gone to a Ravens football game. And there's been a lot of networking between the teachers in the counties.
Great.
Good. I was reading your congratulatory article on the FCPS website, and it mentioned that one of your goals in the classroom is to make it real for students outside of the classroom. So can you talk a little bit more about what you mean by that?
Yeah, that's kind of my catchphrase. It's basically being able to make a way for students to connect to the curriculum and see that it actually connects to the real world. For example, some of the different hardware stores, the national chains, their questions on their tests actually involve a lot of math and finding area. So it's great to show them that, yes, this is a real life skill that you're going to need.
Great.
So they can no longer ask that question, what am I going to use this for in real life?
Exactly.
So, in that line of questioning, what are some reasons why the business and education communities should be concerned with forming a solid relationship?
I think they should be concerned because those students truly are the workforce that will become Frederick County. And I think by showing students what's available to them as options for careers in Frederick will help them to make decisions to hopefully bring them back to Frederick.
We like that.
Definitely. And are there any recommendations you have for business professionals, how they can get involved with that education community?
Well, contacting your local schools and remembering that even as young as the elementary school age, the career fairs are important. But also the county system is starting their academic business connection, which is kind of like a Match.com in a way, to match careers to schools. And also through the Frederick County Business Roundtable for Education through the Chamber and other organizations is a great way to get involved in the schools.
Great.
If you're a professional looking to connect with local educators, you can do some at the ABC Social, otherwise known as the Academic Business Connection Social and Networking event on Wednesday, October 29th at Holly Hills Country Club.
Yep. The ABC Social is, like you said, sponsored by Frederick County Business Roundtable for Education, FCPS, and the Chamber. For more details about that particular event, you can visit the Chamber website. And let's get a round of applause for Karl. Thank you so much. So before our next guest, let's talk about some great member-to-member coupons.
As always, we've got 2 great local discounts for today's member-to-member spotlight.
This month, we have specials from Illuminate Marketing and Public Relations and Papa Murphy's Take and Bake Pizza.
Illuminate is offering 15% off total brand management monthly marketing packages. Say that 5 times fast.
Nope.
No, okay.
Papa Murphy's is offering a meal deal that includes a $5 favorite pizza with 1 side, a 2-liter soda, all just for $10.
You can download these coupons and more online at frederickchamber.org.
Thank you for shopping local, and we'll be right back with our next guest, Geordie Wilson.
Are you interested in supporting Chamber TV? Each month, an episode sponsor will be recognized during this commercial break. To learn more about promoting your company on Chamber TV, call 301-662-0745.
Just a fantastic crowd all the way around. Welcome back. We're here with our final guest for today's show to discuss media relations.
Contrary to popular belief, media relations and public relations shouldn't necessarily be used interchangeably. Media relations refers to the relationship your organization develops with journalists.
Today we're welcoming the publisher of the Frederick News-Post, Geordie Wilson. Geordie is here to talk about how you can build a relationship with the media that is beneficial for both your organization and journalists. And we've already put our hands together. I do that every time. Let's welcome him again.
Let's welcome him. All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
It's great to be here.
What are 3 of the most important elements needed to develop a relationship between organizations and the media?
Well, the media is a really big idea, but I work at the Frederick News-Post, and I think it's really helpful to remember that organizations like the Frederick News-Post are just people. And a lot of what you need to develop a good relationship with your local news organization is the kind of thing you learned in kindergarten. It's about trust, being trustworthy. It's about respect, respecting what they do and hopefully getting respect in return, and basic courtesy. We're just people doing a job just like you are. That's helpful. Another thing that's helpful is to remember what the journalists that you're talking to, what their goal is. And their goal is to serve their audience primarily. Now, I hope everybody at the Frederick News-Post is considerate and helpful and all the rest of that, but they're actually not there to serve you, the business, or you, the organization. They're there to serve our readers. And so they might have a different idea about how newsworthy, your idea is. But if you keep that in mind, I think that will help.
Great.
How can an organization identify the right point of contact to tell their story and share their news with?
Boy, that comes up all the time. Navigating through a news organization can be a bit of a maze. First thing, don't forget your advertising department, the advertising department. They are there to help you tell your story exactly the way you want to, and they can be really creative. In terms of reaching the newsroom, it helps to keep in mind a couple of the key players. Newsrooms have reporters and editors, and at the News-Post we have a dozen or so news reporters, each of whom will have one or two areas that they concentrate on. They'll have a beat that they work. Our reporters, it varies from reporter to reporter, but they typically come up with about half to almost all of the stories that they write out of their own beat. So that means that approaching an individual reporter who covers a subject related to what you want to talk about, that's a good place to start.
Right.
Another good place to, if that doesn't work, or if you just don't know who to talk to, you can always approach the editors. And we have a half dozen editors, and their role is to work with the reporters and also to assign reporters stories that they think of or that come to them. So again, depends on the reporter, but our editors assign maybe a third to a half of the stories that run in the paper. So you can always reach the editor. If you can't reach anybody at the advertising department, you don't know which reporter to reach, the editor's too busy to return your phone call
There
me.
you go.
Okay, you have that from the publisher of the Frederick News-Post on camera. Do you have any recommendations on good ways to present your news to a media, to a journalist, a reporter, an editor, to generate real interest in sharing that information?
We spend a lot of time thinking about press releases as the way we talk to the press. Mm-hmm. And I think it's often misunderstood. A press release is really important, but it's important for you primarily. Writing a press release helps you understand what the point of your story is. And it's a convenient place to put in all the most important background information and contact information. But if you just write a press release and send it out, it's probably not going to be very successful. So that's a place where you can collect your thoughts, put the basic information down, and then you do the hard work. And that just means getting on the phone and calling people. You might, if you have big news and you're spreading it out all over Maryland, you might want to pick a half dozen of the news outlets that are really important to you and spend the time to call and talk to them. Talk to them, interest them in the story, then send them the press release. But that personal engagement is what's really going to make the difference.
Absolutely.
Aside from anything that Cliff Cumber posts on Facebook, are there any major mistakes or offenses an organization can make when trying to share their news with the media?
I think, again, it gets back to what you learned in kindergarten. Be respectful, be courteous, be a little bit patient. We're sometimes busy.
Sure.
And keep in mind the different goals that you might have in presenting information that you think is really critically important to you, and what the news organization, on the other hand, their goals are different, and they're going to be looking for what's really important to their readership. So you won't go too far wrong by being courteous and then keeping in mind, what's the news here? Why does anybody really care? And take it from there. You'll do fine.
Why does anybody really care? It's a good question.
Yeah,
Very
if you can't answer that, you better
question.
wait until you're ready to answer that.
Absolutely. That is all we have today about media relations. For more information, you can check out some interesting links on the Chamber blog. Thank you for joining us today.
It was fun.
That wraps up episode 34 of Chamber TV.
As always, there's a lot going on at the Chamber. Make sure you check the calendar on our website, frederickchamber.org, to see all of our upcoming events.
We've posted lots of links and topics discussed today on the Chamber blog, frederickchamberblog.org.
Please give it up for our caterer today, Canal Bar and Grill, right around the corner from here, and to, of course, Unique Optique for these fancy specs, and for hosting us on our summer tour.
Thank you to everyone who's here with us today, and thank you for tuning in.
Join us in the live studio audience for our next episode, Friday, October 18th at 1 p.m.
Between now and then, we'll see you around town and online at frederickchamberblog.org.